from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster who's coming at you. No, not coming at you at all. I'm around, and I'm going around and round in circles. Picture me on a tricycle going around and around in circles, talking. Well, I guess no, you say, well, those aren't circles, sir. Those are more, it's like, it's not a figure eight you're doing. You're going around and then around another way. It's not the infinity symbol either. I mean, if the infinity symbol was deflated on one side and then kind of like a, bag of chips, half full bag of chips on the other side, you say, okay, I'll take it because I'm just riding around to keep you company and take your mind off stuff. Welcome to Sleep With Me. It's a podcast. It's a little bit different. It's takes some getting used to if you're new. This show isn't for everybody because it is a bit different. It's off the beaten path. It's friendly, and I hope it can help you out. I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff so you could fall asleep, to tell you a long, meandering tale that'll take forever to get started. And it's just like a friend. We all have that. I happen to be that friend. So when I say we all have that friend, I guess I am using that colloquial. I don't know if that's the word that I can't say that word. Don't know if it's in my vocabulary. It's in my brain. Colloquial. I can't say it. Colloquial. Almost can say it. Colloquial. I don't know. I can't say it. But when I say it, I am you because I say we all have a friend like that. But for me, I am that friend. And you may have never used that friend in this context because it's a hard conversation to have, and you can only use it. You can only do it like on camping trips. You say, "Could you tell me a story? Can you tell stories in an adequate manner with a beginning, a middle, and an end?" And could you tell a story over like an hour in a meandering voice? Go ahead, take any tangents you want. And could you do that for me and just talk, or you could just talk about whatever, right? Like, could you imagine yourself on a, not a scooter, a tricycle? Did you call it a scooter earlier or a tricycle? I don't know. I forgot. So that's what this show is in podcast form, delivered right to your ears. And I'm glad to be there. So if you're new, just see how it goes. That's what hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people have told me. There's some people that just like the show and never works for you. And I still want you to be able to get some sleep. So check out sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. But most people that become regular listeners, it just takes a couple of tries because this show's very different. Just see how it goes. I really hope it can help you. So what we got coming up is, structurally, we got support. The show comes out twice a week for free. Then a long, meandering intro meant to ease you into bedtime. And then tonight will be a bedtime story episode from our episodically modular series, Big Farm in the Sky, Besos. It's a mashup of a series. It's actually not a mashup, it's where two characters from two series are trying to help one another, I think. But I'm glad you're here. Really appreciate you coming by. If you're new regular listeners, how you doing? Fishes, what up, fishes? And all pets of all shapes and sizes. Pet rocks, don't think I ever forgot about you. I know I've remembered you once a decade, but you deserve more. Pet rocks, you deserve better. And I may try to be, I may try to remember you more often. But, you know what they say about pet rocks. You never forget. But it all, you're on a different timeline than me. But another thing about pet rocks, don't forget to pet them or pat them. They love that. Of course, I'm sure I'll hear from them, but that'll be down the road. So, Won't have that problem for a while, I hope. Pat rocks. I apologize. Whatever I need to do to be on your good side. Anyway, so long meandering, going off topic. So I'm glad you're here. Regular listeners, this was saying new regular listeners. Oh boy, this is a long setup for the podcast. But I'm glad you're here. I work really hard and we're able to do this because people that support the show directly, support our sponsors, spread the word about the podcast, or just have a nice place in your heart for the show and everybody else that's listening. So I could not do it without all of you. Let's go to these are the ways we're able to do it for you on a regular basis. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots, where I encourage the people who already get a lot of value out of Sleep With Me, who listen to 2 or more episodes a week, or 2. If you listen all night, definitely pay attention right now. Or if you listen to 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes of Sleep With Me a week, I'd love to have you support the show back so we can be here for you. But I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to try to convince you. I'm just trying to get this message through. If you already say, yeah, I know, I just keep forgetting. This is just one more reminder of how powerful your actions are when you support the show, and just giving you somebody else to identify with who did it. They were just like you. Yeah, I know I get value out of the show, but I'll do it tomorrow or I'll do it the next day, because I've been there too. And this comes from Nora. I was listening to Sleep With Me multiple times a week, more often than other stress relief subscriptions I actually paid for. So I decided I should start paying for this podcast. I wanted to support a podcast that was so important to me. And I really like the ad-free content and the extra Ray content. So thanks, Nora. So if you're getting more value out of Sleep With Me than stuff you already pay for, it makes your life better. And that's what I'm here to do. Keep you company, take your mind off stuff so you can fall asleep so your life can be better. And I do that. We're able to do it. The whole team of people that work on the show is able to do that because of people like Nora. So if you identify with what Nora said, you said, yeah, no, Nora did it. Now I'm going to do it tonight. Go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/PLUS. Sign up now and you say, oh boy, now you can go to sleep. I did what Nora did. So thanks everybody. Oh, Mystery Bart, a lot of people help out on this show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bart. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at JonathanMann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your narrators. Get support your scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bart. Oh, Mystery Bart, by the way, did you know if you sign up for Sleep Phones, we're giving you some access to Sleep With Me Plus? So if you go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleepphones, not only the most comfortable way to listen to Sleep With Me, you can get those Sleep With Me branded sleep phones. You could use the code Sleep With Me to save $5 off your order. And then when you get your sleep phones, you just send a message to Scooter through the contact form on our website, and you'll get access to Sleep With Me Plus. So get those sleep phones, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleepphones, and then send us a message. Thanks, everybody. Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake. It could be thoughts on your mind, things you're thinking about, or trying to remember words, or saying, man, colloquial. Oh, I almost had it. It's one of those words I got to forget I'm pronouncing, like slip it by the old, I don't know, wherever it goes from my brain to my mouth, something that happens in between. Colloquial, nope, I got to say it faster than that. I got to sneak it by myself. Colloquially, I almost said it colloquially. Like if I skip it, then, but it's not really the word anymore. But it could be thoughts, could be feelings, anything coming up for you emotionally related to those thoughts, feelings that are just there. It could be physical sensations, changes in time, temperature, routine. It could be going through something. You could be getting over something, in the middle of something, traveling. You could have guests. Maybe you work a different shift. Maybe you're going through something new or something old, feeling blue. Or if you've ever met me, maybe somebody borrowed something and you say, when are they going to give that back to me? And I'd say, if I borrowed it, probably best to just to tell me so I can apologize and make it right. But whatever it is that's keeping you awake, I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff so you can fall asleep. For two reasons. There's two real pieces of gold that keep the show going. Like below everything else that happens, or the sparks, I guess, at the heart of the show. One is, whatever it is that's keeping you awake, I think I can relate to how it feels. I know how it feels for me in a variety of different situations when I can't get the sleep I desire and I need. And even when I really want it, I know how that feels. I know how it feels to be in a house full of people and not be able to sleep, but not feel like nobody else gets it, or just to wake up and, I don't know. I know what those feelings are like in a bunch of different other ones. So even if I don't know exactly what you're going through, I can feel something for you and maybe feel something similar. And so I know I want something better for you, but I also know that somewhere in the world right now, while you're listening, is somebody else that really gets it. There's enough people that listen to the show, and that's pretty cool that someone else somewhere on this planet is also holding a space for you because they've been there, and then this podcast did help them, and they're winding down right now or getting comfortable and like, yeah, I'm really glad you're here. And I really hope this podcast can help you like it helped me. It is different. It is something I didn't know to look for or that would help me because I didn't know something like this could exist. But yeah, I hope it helps you out. So, and they hope that one day, if you become a regular listener, you get the joyous experience of holding that place for somebody else, a welcoming place, at a distance, that, you know, that's indirect in this way, but that's still pretty cool to be a part of. You know, that's why we talk about traditions on this show, like kissing your shoulders or your biceps, or, you know, before bed, dipping your elbows in milk. They say, what's the method? If you were going to sell a method, the sleep with me method, what would you, and I'd say, well, it starts with dipping, you know, what is it? Well, thanks, Dean, for asking. Yeah, what we do here around these parts is we dip our elbows in milk. Could be any kind, no, but yeah, doesn't have to be dairy milk. Great question, Dean. Though your cleanup's going to be different depending on, you know, contents to you know what they say, don't judge a person by the contents of their milk, or the dip, you know, how they dip it. And they say, sorry, sir, did you say you encourage people to dip their elbows in milk and it helps them fall asleep? Oh, no, I didn't say that, Dean. I said, you said, do you tell me about the sleep with me method? And I said, what we do is we dip our elbows in milk, saucers of milk, bowls of milk, pools of milk. And no longer, Dean, do you have to cry over spilt milk because you could dip your elbows in it? I mean, it's not quite a dip. You're more placing your elbow in the milk in that case. But, sir, are you telling people to do this on a nightly basis? Oh, no. I'm not telling people to do anything. You just asked me about the sleep with me method, and I was telling you that that's part of it. Sir, are you speaking in, well, it could be metaphorical. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to necessarily, didn't I say don't judge a person by the contents of their milk, Dean? Didn't you understand? I'm kidding, Dean, I'm kidding. I don't even understand what I mean by that, except I do. And that's kind of what I mean about dipping your elbows in milk, too. It's okay if you do, okay if you don't. But around here, the idea of dipping your elbows in milk is what I'm talking about right now at this moment. When you're dipping your elbows in milk, you can't think about doing anything other than dipping your elbows in milk. And it sets the stage for bedtime, I believe, Dean. Okay, why don't you move on with your podcast intro then? Great idea, Dean. So, yeah, maybe like, if, as a matter of fact, any day you could think about dipping your elbows in milk. You say, oh, boy, that's it's different, like the sleep podcast. And, no dipping, well, you could dip them metaphorically. Oh, boy, that's some nice milk. It's probably best not to actually dip your elbows in milk. Actually, doing it like pretending it is probably even better. But Dean doesn't need to know that. He's got to get a story in. So the story won't go. It'll be like podcaster owes everything to dip. Podcaster claims he owes everything to dipping his elbows in milk. Hey, that'd be pretty good. That'd be a headline I could stand behind. And I'd be cracking up behind it if it was a big one, too. Especially if it was a life size, like in the movies. And then I could run through it. And then we could talk to an expert and say, and someone that actually knew something, say, well, is it okay for me to dip my elbows in milk and then give it to a cat? If it's in a saucer particularly? And they would relay the proper answer because I don't know. I do know that I forgot what I was talking about other than I hope that, this podcast becomes a place where you feel comfortable thinking about dipping your elbows in milk or kissing your shoulders, blowing a kiss to your pet, even if you don't own a pet rock, thinking about sending energy out to pet rocks, petting energy, saying, okay, I don't have a pet rock. I won't dip my elbows in milk. Most people, the idea of kissing your shoulders, including me, better conceptually. But, I will think about all the pet rocks in the world and all the rocks that haven't been yet adopted. I mean, holy mackerel, right? Think about all those. Let's send out petting energy to those rocks. Just like a new listener, we send out welcoming energy. And I mean, in the sense, a different sense than is normally used, right? But in the real sense, people feel welcome here, and regular people are sending out a welcome. So that's the one important thing. You got mixed up in a bunch of meanders. The other thing to know is you deserve a good night's sleep, a bedtime where you can get the rest you need so your life is more manageable. A bedtime you could look forward to or at least feel neutral about. So I hope I hope we can provide that for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my voice across the deep dark night. I'm going to use the lulling, soothing, creaky dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents. So that means I'm going to go off topic. I'm going to get mixed up. I mean, you've seen it. You've seen a lot of it or heard a lot of it already if you're here. And all that's to keep you company and take your mind off stuff because this is a podcast you kind of just barely listen to. Kind of like background noise or out of focus picture or a TV on in the other room or like streaming something and putting your pillow over it. It's here to keep you company, like to be a presence, a friendly presence that's there for you that you don't have to necessarily engage with or think about. And when you need it, though, it's a podcast you could listen to. So I'm here to distract you and keep you company, whether you're listening or not. And the other thing is, this show isn't here to put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep, which is a bit different. I've been doing this show a long time. And pretty early on, I learned from the listeners that I'm here to keep you company whether you're awake or asleep. There is no pressure to fall asleep with this show. And so if you can't sleep at all, I'm here. If you need a break during the day, I'm here. Or if you fall asleep right away and you wake up, I'm here. Or if you're barely paying attention, I'm here. Because I'm here to be something outside of yourself, to say, hey, come on over here, versus whatever is going on, thoughts, feelings, physical sensations. Because in the end, or baffling stuff that you don't know why you're staying awake. So I'm here to be your bore friend, your bore bae, your bore sib, your bore bud, your neighbor, your bore bee, your boreman in charge, your Boris Borloff, your bore cuz, bore sib, bore cuz, bore bae, your best bore friend forever. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep, which is different. So, like I said, it does take some getting used to for all of that. And wait a second, the guy's going to try to introduce his podcast, but then he's going to go off topic multiple times. Do you expect me to believe that somebody could forget, not be able to pronounce a word and then forget the word and then try to remember it while they're buying time? And then say colloquial, and he almost got it there. And that's supposed to put people to sleep. But, well, it kind of, you got to listen to it. It doesn't make any sense. It's always going nowhere. He's always not making any sense. He's always barely making sense. So give it a few tries, see how it goes. Structurally, I want to explain the structure of the show, because if you're new or you're a regular listener, and we haven't changed the structure of the show in a while, but sometimes people come back after a time. We're lucky enough to make this show long enough that I've had the pleasure of, people listening in high school, people listening in college, people listening in grad school, people listening with their, a partnership, people listening with their first child, people going through these phases of life and on and on and on, including some major phases in my life. And it really is an honor. But yeah, sometimes people do that. They listen during one portion and they come back. But structurally, this is the structure of the show. And I kind of explain, this is how most people listen, but that's only a 51%. And then a lot of people like to listen a bunch of other ways. But this is the way we can have the most positive impact on the most people, is structuring the show this way and then offering alternatives. So the show starts off with a greeting. Friends of the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So you feel seen and welcomed in, and you say, okay, I could test that podcast out. Then there's then there's support. So paying for the podcast is optional. Most people prefer, like I said, this ad-supported version of the show linearly. But if you want something ad-free, you could get that at Sleep With Me Plus. Then, separate from the support, a show within a show is the intro, which goes on and on and on. Kind of like I was talking about earlier. I'm trying to explain the structure of the podcast and what the podcast is. And every intro is different, but familiar. I follow a familiar structure, but I go off topic about who knows what, or multiple things, as we've seen tonight. And I don't know, that kind of offers us a chance to kind of spend some time together. Listeners get to know different aspects of me, and it offers us time to wind down. But every time it's different, so that whatever keeps me awake, at least I know, it can't quite adjust, right? It's always got something new, so it can't quite, say, there goes that bird again, or here comes the rain, So that's why the intro is different every time and familiar every time. And the reason it's 15 to 25 minutes long is because it's meant to give you some time to wind down or get ready for bed or do some chill activity or get in bed and get comfortable. Sure, like a couple percentage of people fall asleep during the intro, but the show is designed to ease you into bedtime. And that's just what works for me personally most of the time and what studies say works. And it's just nice. We get a little time to kind of hang out, and you're like, you get to know me, if you're barely listening, you get to know me barely listening. And it's cool. I don't know. Then after the intro support, then after that, it'll be our episodically modular series. And all told, we're here over an hour. And I'm really glad you're here. If you're new, just give the show, keep trying the show out and see if it works. I really hope it can help you. And if it doesn't, check out sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. Find another sleep podcast. And, I don't know. I appreciate you giving us your time. Myself and a team of people work on the show. We all yearn and strive. We really hope we can help you fall asleep. So thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple of ways we're able to do this for you for free twice a week. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots here in this part of the show where I say, hey, if you get a lot out of Sleep With Me, right? You listen to Sleep With Me 2 or more times a week. You listen to more than 2 episodes a week. I'd love it, if you go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/PLUS right now and sign up to support the show. And then tomorrow when you're resting, you could set up the bonus content because this message is only for those people, right? Those people who already know you want to support the show. It's just getting you over that last thing to go to that website and sign up. I'm not here to convince anybody because like another supporter said, hey, I get more than I give, right? So Susan said, feels good to support a talented, hardworking creator who generously shares his life experience, sense of humor, care, and compassion with his audience. I found great comfort and or happy distraction in so many episodes. And here's to many more years to Sleep With Me and Ray episodes. And it feels good because I know my support back makes a huge difference and I get a lot of value out of the podcast. And that is from Susan, right? So if you get a lot of value out of podcasts like Susan did, if you love Ray, Fearless Flyers, you want more, and you want the show to be around for you and for everybody else, right? And you want to empower the show back for what it does for you. Go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/PLUS. But thank you so much, Susan, and everybody who supports the show, whether it's through Sleep With Me Plus, through referring people to the show, or sponsors. I appreciate it. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots here. This is our episodically modular series with a working title of Big Farm in the Sky, Get Besos PI, maybe? I don't know. I don't have a title for this series. It's a couple of familiar characters if you're a long-term listener of the show. Otherwise, I'll catch you up. Though this one is kind of episodically modular. There is some seriality, so I'll explain it. What does episodically modular mean? It means these are stories in an interlinked world, interlinked characters. Not sure what I mean by interlinked, but it was a word that popped in my head. Maybe good. And but you can listen to them in any order. This is the fourth episode we're recording. So if you listen to the first 3, they're kind of prequels. I mean, kind of like that movie with the stars, the Star Opera movie. And this episode will be the Big Farm in the Sky PI, who is a PI who looks around, helps people find stuff or find people or solve problems in the Big Farm in the Sky versus down here on Earth. And they have been helping RW and James Cash find Jiff, and Jiff got sent out on a mission. So, I mean, I think that's all you really know. All takes place in the comforting world beyond ours. And I mean that in the way of like this one. Holy cow! Talk about what do they call that when they redo something? Like a ride, when they give a ride, a makeover at a theme park. What is this, like a 1,000 lulls pyramid? It is, but usually we would have a celebrity on here. What's the word for a celebrity who doesn't need a makeover? But every time I see him, because of the way he smiles at me and treats me with kindness and dignity and oozes compassion and empathy, I really feel like I'm washed with his essence, and then I get a makeover. But then I always tell him that's a little bit noisy. The podcast mic, I think, can hear all that. And he laughs and pats me on the shoulder. It's time for our Hollywood announcer, Mr. Antonio Banderas. The friends beyond the binary. I'm glad I have this script in front of me. The friends beyond the binary. So ladies and gentlemen, so boys and girls, it's time to get into the big farm in the sky. Whoosh. Yeah. One more take on that, Antonio. Whoosh. Yeah. One more take on that. You're, whoosh. Yeah. Antonio, can you come back here? Your voice is really like clicking. Whoosh. Yeah. No, it sounds like you ate Pop Rocks or something. Can you take, I hate to do this to you because you're a Hollywood professional. I know we don't have the rights to have you on camera. So this will only be behind the scenes video, but can you do it one more time? Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for your big farm in the sky. P.I. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Nobody's perfect. That's Mr. Antonio Banderas. This is Big Farm in the Sky. P.I. Besos, everybody. Hey, Diane, it's me. I'm in the most boring place, they say, in the Big Farm in the Sky, or whatever the greater Big Farm in the Sky PI area is called, Diane. And I just talked to G and DK, Diane, because we were trying to figure out something. I was trying to figure out where to go next. And let me back up, Diane, just in case. So I have two clients, RW and James Cash. And they're here in various regions of the Big Farm, the greater Big Farm in the Sky area, Diane. And they need me to find their friend Jiff, who was sent on a mission, or a series of missions, to find beings or characters in the Big Farm. But they don't know. RW came up with a list, but then gave it to Jiff and doesn't have a copy of the list, and also says, buddy, you don't need, I got the list right here. And I said, well, could you give me a list of the place? I'd like to look into where he's been and where he's going. Can you give me the next stop? And he said, I thought you were the buddy, I thought you were I kind of do an imitation of him, Diane. I thought you were the Big Farm in the Sky PI. Sorry, Diane, I mixed up my imitations there, but not very useful as a client, which I'm kind of used to. You know, when people hire me, they're not at their best. And we kind of got split up on the last part. We did track down Javert, and it didn't bring us that much closer to Jiff. I got another question, Diane, that I don't have an answer to, but I want you to think about it. Also, I know G and DK listen to these. Hey, G and DK, thanks for the help. I don't know if I don't know if Jiff is an earthbound being that's no longer earthbound, or a resident of the Big Farm in the Sky PI. And I've been trying to trace back the adventures of Richard Warren and James Cash, and I can't get to the bottom of it. My sense is that either Richard Warren, he initially wanted to bring Jiff to the Big Farm in the Sky, but in a not the most positive region of it, from Earth. But I'm not sure he was ever successful in that without, like he may have brought him from Earth directly there without the normal transfers, if you catch my drift, Diane. But I don't know, but it's just something I've been thinking about as I try to find him. Because he does seem to be going back. I don't know. He seems to be in contact with Earth. I mean, I am with G&DK, so you could say, but I don't have the same access to Earth. I mean, I'd love to go back, have a milkshake, hold G&DK's hands, walk, look at stuff, maybe feed the ducks or something like that. Anyway, Diane, I guess I'm distracted here because, we just figured out where I'm distracted because I'm about to cross another threshold. But how did I get to this threshold is with the help of G&DK. So we're here in what they would call the boring realm, purgatory, like other place, it gets called a bunch of terms. But it's... I was in Richard Warren's room, RW, because we couldn't figure out, if he had a G&DK, we're like, why don't you look at his room and see if there's any clues there? And I said, I don't really have permission to do that. And they said, but you're not in contact with him. He wants you to, if his door's locked, we'll deal with it. His door was open. So and I did knock. I said, Richard Warren? I knew he wasn't going to be there, probably Diane. Also, there isn't, because it's a boring realm, apparently Richard Warren Sears had some level of privacy, but then he forgot to close his door and lock it. But you don't have any expectation of privacy. Respectful privacy, but not total, you know what I mean? Like where you say, this is my stuff, I guess you know what I mean, Diane. And my understanding where they were supposed to be is that they wouldn't have access to art materials, drawing materials, or writing materials. But Richard Warren Sears seems to have all of that. So we got to his room. We started looking around his room for clues. First I went through stuff. So here's what I found that led us where we need to go. Where do I start? First impressions, whatever. There's not a lot of stuff in the room because you're not supposed to have anything. On the walls, though, were some crayon drawings and writings that I thought were from a child. And I said, okay, so you can get a kid can send you a drawing. But as we worked our way through that, we realized that they were Richard Warren Sears and Richard Warren Sears' pictures. Some were of him and James Cash Penny. But the one that caught our attention, Diane, was an empty chair. And it said Jiff, and pointing, Jiff was crying under the empty chair. And then a poem called The Empty Chair. And that was what made G&DK say, that's got to be him. What is he drawing on? Okay, so we also found a collection of hotel pens and pads. So then I said, but if you wrote everything in crayon. So all we knew was an empty chair, Jiff crying, and a lot of stuff of RW being a very heroic character and brilliant. But then we realized G&DK did, Diane, that they said, use the old, I thought you were a PI. Haven't you ever watched any shows about PIs? Get a pencil and do the pencil thing where you can look at what they last wrote on the pad. Now, luckily, we only got lucky for one reason, Diane. He has a lot of hotel pads. I don't know if he stayed at a lot of hotels, but they're Earth hotels. I don't know. Free giveaways from the rooms, So at first, the first couple pads we tried, there was a lot of stuff on there, but because he was writing very hard. And most of it was about this empty chair thing, and Jif, poems about Jif, and some about James Cash Penny, odes to himself. Odes to himself, Diane. Richard Warren Sears, a study in leadership, something like that. Okay, Diane, but then we came up with some clues here. The chair thing, G&DK said was related to Jif and RW. But at first, the only thing we could find, there was a lot of stuff. What does this mean? Is this an ode? But then we found, because again, it's hard. It's not like in the movies, Dan. There's a lot of words. So we did find something with Javert on there, right? Or it wasn't spelled correctly, but I was like, I think that could be considered Javier or whatever he may have called it at the time. And there's also like it didn't say Jean Valjean frowny face, but so only other thing I can make out on that list I thought was Yo-Yo Ma, the famous cellist, Diane, who I believe, I don't know if they're earthbound or not, but I said, no, not Yo-Yo Ma. And that didn't really fit because Yo-Yo Ma, unless RW didn't like cellos or something, like Yo-Yo Ma's not practicing, isn't in pursuit of futility, right? Like similar to Javert, where it also is causes self-perpetuation of non-positivity. Yo-Yo Ma seems to play the cello, get something out of playing the cello and give something to others playing the cello. So probably not Yo-Yo Ma, but we said, okay, it looks like Yo-Yo Ma, like very similar to those other words look like Javert and Jean Valjean. Then again, G&DK, they like fish. They said, Yamar? And I said, I'm sorry, what? And they said, never mind, just another fish song. Yama. Instead of Yo-Yo Ma, something maybe that's a scribble. Yama, Yaman, yes, mom. Stuff like jokes. We said, well, it could be RW. Maybe RW's making jokes about Jif or whatever. So G&DK are trying to figure this out, right? And then I'm trying to figure out, they said, go back to the pictures, see if there's anything in the poems that are posted. And they're working the angles, Diane, on, the collective knowledge base or whatever you want to call it on Earth. So then we find one of the poems. Let me see. I wrote, there was words that all rhymed. Ties, like you wear, like telling not truths, lies. When you're teary, cries. When you have a dream and it doesn't work out, it rhymes with that. Your dream does not. This is all about Jif. And it was close to what I was like, oh, maybe this is why Jif is crying under the chair. And then there was this bridge that Jif was going over. It didn't look like that, Diane. Again, only know this now in post, now that we know. It looked like some sort of ant was on a wavy piece of string. But it turns out that was a bridge, because that was in the poem. I couldn't make out those words either, but it was a bridge of sighs. So then searching bridge of sighs brought up Yama Kings. And this, we didn't get any more than that, because then they were asked to, they were in the library, and they were yelling that, so they were asked to leave. But that's once I had that, I had enough to go on, asked around. we knew these two things were connected. Yeah, bridge of size leads to the Yama Kings. If this is, again, Diane, only if for the people like a Javert can be real. Maybe it was because RW believed in Javert, but this could be real too, and this is a much bigger base of people of the world. So I'm headed to I'm standing on the edge of the bridge of size, and I got to cross the bridge. Now, normally this is like a threshold for people that are new. But there's, unfortunately for me, Diane, like there's nobody to check in with. The bridge itself is like the gatekeeper. So I got to cross the bridge and get to the other side. And it's very misty. So, I'm going across now. It's like a very mysterious... And okay, now I'm kind of getting a sense, Diane, I guess I'll just keep talking to you to stay grounded. Some of my past work up here is, I can see it in the mist, some of the ups and downs, hey, let me, there's a couple of people I can see that are like real. Don't worry, you're going to make it. Just focus. Don't look at the horizon. Don't look at the... Sorry, Dan, I was just talking to the person. Yeah, there you go. The bridge is different for each person crossing it, Dan, and different level of balance needed. Hey, okay, no, you could try crawling. You don't have to... No signs there say you have to walk across the bridge. And yeah, just take a rest. I don't think I can help you other than to tell you, you could do it. Take a rest and then crawl the rest of the way. It's fine. Okay, Diane, I'm here at the other side of the bridge, and there's supposed to be like this intake place, but there's a lot of commotion. So, Diane, I'll be right back. Okay, Diane, it's May. It's been a little bit since I recorded. Sorry I didn't get right back to you, but I did check in with G&DK directly. Luckily, I was able, a lot better than 5G up here, the service I get. Where was I? So we got across the bridge, right, Diane? Now, originally, when you get across this bridge, my understanding, and again, it's a limited understanding, Diane, just trying to learn the best I can through G&DK and talking to people. But some people would believe that they're supposed to check in with this mirror, right? And oh boy, this place, by the way, the bridge, once you cross over, you can see it. It's beautiful. Holy cow. And you come into this great, I would call it like a palace or a temple, but it's not. But it feels like it. And there's supposed to be this giant mirror in there. And also like, the way the mirror was designed, Diane, is pretty cool. Like it's, somehow when you looked, now the mirror's not here, spoiler, but when you looked into it, like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people could be looking at the same time because it's a curved circular mirror, but it was designed in a way that's also flat, like it would give you a straight, originally it would give you a reflection. And, very similar to the bridge, you would look in the mirror, and this kind of makes sense, Diane. It would run you through your life again in a very direct way, and with lots of details. Even remember, the Brooks movie, right, Diane? Kind of not that different than that. And then it would kind of put stuff in perspective. Okay, this is what I did. Now my next stage is how am I going to make it right? Now, this again was very similar to RW's view of like a non-positive experience, making it right through a non-positive experience. So then you would go to the next, like you would go through and talk to the different authority figures. All of them are gone, Diane. It says they're at a company retreat. So this mirror's gone, but it's been replaced. And all the kings, the Yama kings, is the parlance that I've been told, Diane, they're gone. Okay. In their place and in the place of the mirror. So normally you'd proceed, look in the mirror, you'd get a sense of what you didn't, what you need to make amends for. And then you would go and talk to the different authorities and they'd say, okay, well, this is, that's kind of, and that's not my area. Go talk to the next, and then you'd get what you're supposed to do, which was wouldn't be pleasant, I guess is what I'm saying, Diane. So, okay, so then in their place are all these tablets, but instead of the mirror was called the mirror of, let me see if I can put this in a way that won't impact you, Diane. Retro Bew Sean. Retro Bew and Sean would be that was the original name of the mirror, Diane. But now they have these tablets, which are like the tablets G and DK have, though these ones seem to be made of plastic, Diane. They don't fit in up here. And they're called the tablets of service. So when you get here now, it's a little bit, it's a new system. They said, this is we're beta testing or something. Go to the tablet. I said, oh, no, I'm not new. I show them I'm Big Farm in the Sky PI. I'm here to help somebody. I'm actually helping somebody. And right now they say, okay, fine, you're an authority figure. Go ahead, do what you need. But yeah, you go to these tablets of service. That's what it's called. I didn't even look because I had a couple other steps on my thing from other stuff I didn't cover when we were in Jeff's room. Once we started rolling, Jeff was interested in, or not Jeff, I'm sorry, RW was really interested in this place. So the next stop was this place called, I said, okay, well, if Jeff's not here, anybody seen him? I don't know. I said, it was somebody that doesn't fit in. And they said, like you? I said, yeah, like me, but maybe even less so. And they said, carrying themselves in the air of authority. I said, maybe. And they said, yeah, there's somebody that came through. Okay, so our next stop was a place called Mountain of Cutlery. And again, this was new stuff I was learning through G and DK. So this is like third or fourth hand knowledge, Diane. But apparently if you got assigned to this zone, you would just constantly be climbing up this Mountain of Cutlery, Diane, for a long time. And I said, so I was heading there. I was like, oh boy, I don't even know if I want to go. But then I start hearing all this clanking, and clinking and clanking, and then cheering, and like announcing, like number 42, like that, Diane, like if you ever heard an announcer at a distance, and then more cheering, and then more clanking. And then I saw these big signs, and I said, they have fancy signs down here. And again, they're in like universal, so anybody could, it's for everybody to understand. But it was flatware, fun and find. And I said, flatware, fun and find. I said, okay, cutlery, flatware, same type thing. And it took a different take to these ones because people were like, hey, are you here? Are you assigned to be here? I said, no, I'm an inspector. And they said, are you here to inspect what? I said, in everything. But I got lost. And I said, what's going on here? And they said, well, what are you inspecting? I was like, here, I thought I was supposed to be here a while ago, but I was supposed to inspect the sharpness, everything. And they said, oh boy, yeah, you've been lost a long time because things changed around here. And I said, well, what do you mean they changed around here? And they said, well, it's good news. Well, not good news for you because your job, but they said good news for everybody that used to climb this thing. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, well, we don't need anything sharp anymore. or any sharpening is going to occur in a different area. And I said, oh, okay. And they said, this is a mountain, like, see all that coming down? That's flatware. And it just gets piled in a mountain of flatware, and then you climb it and you collect, you get assigned which piece of flatware you're supposed to collect. It's a big contest for everybody assigned here. Whole lot of fun. And it's a new set of priorities. Basically, like, everybody's supposed to organize flatware. And then it gets, once it gets, into different packaging, and then it gets shipped off somewhere. And everybody that was here or just got assigned here and knew what they got assigned to. It's like, feels like a total liberation, I said, okay. And they said, yeah, so I guess if you're inspecting the sharpness, you're going to have to, maybe you're supposed to be in another area. And I said, well, actually, I'm also supposed to check oil temperature next. So can you point me in the right direction for that? And they said, oh, yeah, you'll be able to find that, no problem. I'm surprised you even got lost. Oh, but you had to come here first. And they said, yeah, you head down that tunnel down there, and you'll be able to smell it and taste it first. And then, you'll come to a big opening. Slow down at the opening. There is a railing, but then it's all the way down at the bottom. Very, very cool to look at. But it takes forever to get out of your clothes, even here. So then Diana headed down the hallway, and I started to smell oil. Hot, at first I said, you could feel it in the air first, the air temperature, but like a oily humidity. And then I heard then I smelled it, Diane, but it smelled good. I was expecting it to smell not good, like oil, but it smelled like good things being cooked in oil, it did. It was still in my nose now, Diane, thinking about it. Then I started to hear two sounds. First, a humming, like an industrial humming. Like not an industrial humming, but some sort of industrial noise. And then sound of, stuff cooking. And then I got to this edge of this opening, Diane, and it was this giant, inside the rock, a giant silo almost, or hole in the, circular hole in the rock column. And way, way up above me was like these giant fans pulling the air upward. That's one of the noises. I guess you call it a giant shaft of in the rock. And then down at the bottom, pretty far down, was pools of oil, which I was expecting as part of this thing. And so then I followed the path down, but I also started to notice, because the path was kind of open for view as I went down, everything seemed really new. I mean, the industrial fans, and there's other construction going on, and construction noises and more chaos. And I said, hey, what are you here to do? And they said, okay, but don't tell them oil temperature, because then they're going to ask you to take the oil temperature. And I said, well, I'm like, I guess I'm lost. I'm here to, I'm here, and they said, what are you, an inspector? I said, yeah, I was supposed to inspect, I said, the oil smells a lot different. And they said, oh, you're the oil smell inspector. And they said, that's good. And I said, does our smell get the seal of approval? And I said, this is like the easiest inspection of oil smelling I've ever done in my life. Your oil smells spectacular. I said, well, you're cooking in the oil, I mean. And they said, oh, yeah, of course. But they said, yeah, we've really put a lot into this since the changes. Everybody's really excited. And they said, so we're doing test batches of different, apparently people on Earth call them snacks and treats. But we're doing test batches. We've got, we're still getting some of the equipment installed, and some of the baskets, and then retraining everybody. And then I said, well, where is everybody? They said, in the degreasing spa. I said, degreasing spa? They said, yeah, now that people don't just have to sit around all day, like in the oil, like you're working, you get to go and degrease. It's really nice. They got aromatherapy there. And I said, well, this is my aromatherapy. I inspect oil smells as a passion and a job. And they said, well, you're doing a great job. I said, clearly you are too. And they said, yeah, we got the packaging areas ready. And they said, okay, great. And they said, what are you checking next? And I said, there's supposed to be, is one of the package areas a cold storage area too? And they said, yeah. And I said, I'm really bad at directions. Can you give me directions? And they said, well, we just turned on this conveyor belt to it. So hop on and you could just ride the conveyor belt there. So I hopped on this conveyor belt, Diane. And again, I said, this is not, something's going on here. But again, this isn't my post-earthly existence. So I ride this conveyor belt. I'll tell you, Diane, I felt like a child in a good way again. It was fun. And eventually I got off at this area where I got to slide down a slide into a bin. But all the people saw me coming, and they said, who are you? And I said, I'm here to check up on things. I'm checking up on your progress. And they said, well, we're doing great here. You want any boots and mittens? And they had scarves and parkas. And so this used to be called the Frozen Realm, Diane. And they said, so, yeah, we're working on the signage because, it used to be the Frozen Realm. But now, we're going to have the freeze-dried realm. We're sticking with realms. Flash frozen realm, dry realm, cold storage realm. Cool. They said, we're still figuring out some of the naming conventions. And I said, oh, interesting stuff. Interesting. And I said, so, I said, the boss been through here? And they said, the big boss? And then they just laughed. And I said, I didn't realize yet. And they said, yeah, that's, we just laughed. And I said, oh, okay. And I said, yeah, but the one in charge of the refurbishment, and they said, oh, the refurbishment guy. Yeah, he was here. Then he went to, over to Iron Trees. And I said, oh, okay. Well, how do I get there? And they said, no, yeah, you want to take another, they said, you want to take a pneumatic tube there? And they said, no, you can't. And I said, well, yeah, I'm no longer. And they said, yeah, I guess you could. So I took a pneumatic tube to this this next place, Diane. Now, this place is called the Iron Trees, and it was, again, a place where you'd have to climb, apparently, in the past. But I get there, and, again, spectacular to view, Diane. Iron trees, thousands and thousands of feet high. Now, what I didn't know is that, well, anyway, I don't want to explain it because it's kind of hard to explain. But when you get there, like this one was already fully functioning. This was for paperwork, Diane. Used to be trees you'd have to climb. Now it's snowing paper. Apparently, I guess this realm they use paper, or now they started. And each tree, there's some sort of system. I couldn't follow it, Diane, but it snows like the paper, new paper comes in through the top. The pneumatic tubes is for inter office memos or inter realm memos, or intra. I don't know. Is it inter or intra, Diane? And then people on like I don't know, things like a zip line, but more fun. Or some people had wings. Apparently, I guess you could work it out. I mean, they're having a lot of fun, Diane. And they grab the paper, they look at it, I think it's orders or something. I said, orders for here? But everybody's busy, you know. They said, come on. And then they grab it and they put it on one thing. Like, apparently they're going to paint the trees. Right now they're just doing practice runs. So it's a way of keeping track of orders, I guess. I don't know. But everybody seems very happy. It seems fun. They asked me if I wanted to do any of it. I said, nah. I said, I got to find, I'm just checking up on the progress for the refurbishment and the company retreat. And I'm late for it. And they said, you're late for the company retreat? So was your supervisor. And I said, yeah, so what am I going to do? And they said, well, you got to go through the lightless places, but there's a shortcut. And I said, the place with no light at all? And they said, yeah. But they said, as long as you keep your right hand on the wall, like you're just going to go in, you're going to keep your right hand on the wall. You're going to keep your right hand on the wall, and at some point you're going to feel like the wall go to the right. And then as you go to the right, you keep your hand on that wall, then keep your hand out to the left and the right at the same time. You'll find yourself in a passage. And if you can touch both walls at the same time, just keep going straight. And eventually you'll see the light and you'll be out of there. That's the shortcut. So that's where I'm headed, Diane. I'll be right back. Okay. Hey, Diane, it's me again. Did you miss me? Diane. Little things happened with the shortcut and maybe even my way of viewing things, Diane. So apparently the shortcut, they didn't repurpose it maybe. Maybe they're doing something. I couldn't see anything because it's totally dark. But I was like going there, right? My hand was on the wall. Keep your hand on the wall. They said, don't feel like don't do anything, Stay to the right. Keep your hand on the wall till it goes right. Then reach out left hand. So I'm shuffling along, Diane, and then I hear, because there's other people in this realm, right? And I hear somebody, I say, hey, somebody over there? And I said, yeah, I'm over here. And they said, you think you could help, you want to hold one another or whatever? And I said, well, I'm trying to get out of here. There's a shortcut. I guess you're not supposed to reveal this stuff, Diane, but whatever. And they said, I'd like to get out of here too. And I said, yeah, I bet. And I said, they haven't refurbished this area? And they said, no refurbishments I know of. And I said, well, can't you come to my voice? And they said, I'm trying, but every time it's hard because there's echo. And they said, can you come to my voice? And I said, yeah, but I'd have to and I said, why don't you keep trying to come to my voice? And I'll I'm trying to keep my hand on the wall. And they said, oh, so you can find your way? I said, yeah. And they said, yeah, because once you, and then I said, well, okay, let me try with I'll just really reach out. And we kept trying to get closer to each other. And I don't know, sound travel's weird, Diane. But eventually I was like, you know what? I'm close enough to them. They sounded nice. I'll just let go of the wall. I'll find them and I'll just remember to go to the right. And I did try to just walk sideways. But two things, Diane. Couldn't find my way back. And two, I was going on a big assumption that everybody was post-earthly humans up here. And this person is not a human. This is my first, other than, I don't know why I have to relearn this stuff so many times, Diane. As far as I've traveled, I have to keep relearning this stuff. But this person was a sentient ooze. And I said, their name was Choo, the sentient ooze. And I said, obviously I was surprised, at their gelatinous form. And they said, don't worry, I could take I can anthropomorphize for your comfort. And I said, I didn't realize any sentient oozes. I said, well, once we got over the small talk, like, what? What are you? Oh, I'm sentient ooze. Or that's the best way I can explain it to you. Oh, I didn't know any sentient oozes were here. And they said, no, I'm not from here. I got lost. Came through a crack in the wall from another realm where I was supposed to be. And I said, where were you? And they said, it was not good because I'm a sentient ooze, right? I was in a tanning room. That's the closest thing. I know you're human. I watched a lot of human stuff before. And I said, like a tanning room, like with a big, and they said, yeah, huge, like a fake light, dry me out. Then they'd, let me get re-moistened, and then they'd dry me out again. And I said, I couldn't help myself. Diane, I said, why? What did you? And they said, oh, well, I'm from the linty dusty realm. And I said, there's a linty dusty realm? And they said, yeah, it's a realm. I guess in that, in that realm, I'm a non-positive being. It's inhabited by linty dusties. And I said, how little do I know, Diane? And they said, unfortunately, sentient oozes, we mostly consume lint and dust, and, water, like most beings. So in that realm, even though it's what I naturally consume, I wasn't viewed very positively, right? Also, at some point, Diane, the sentient ooze did ask my permission, but they said, do you think I could cover you and myself just to pick up, I'm a little hungry. So they said, don't worry, I'll just absorb some of your surface water and all the dust and lint on you. And then also they said, do you mind, also I don't have any, right now I'm without body hair, Diane. I know on Earth you might think you might not have these things, but I did up until this point have body hair. But now I don't, Diane. So Choo, and that was also, I don't know, quite the experience. It tickled, for sure, being covered in a sentient ooze. And I don't know, so we got to know one another, but we couldn't find our way back to the wall. And we didn't want to I didn't want to go too far. But the other thing, Diane, is this is interesting to me to learn because Choo, of where our W's coming from, because now I wanted to help Choo. I wanted to find the thing, but then I was like, well, if I find the way out, Choo, what is Choo going to do? And then I got an idea. I said, okay, Choo, because also we couldn't find the wall, and Choo had been in there a long time. And I don't have any way, no light to work. It's magical, non-light. So I said, wait a second, lint and dust. Oil collects lint and dust. I said, Choo, do you have a sense, if I told you, there's someplace not far away from here, where there's lint and dust, do you think you could, still yourself and find it? And Choo said, yeah, let's try. And so Choo we got into a mode, and now it's trying to smell the oil. And then we eventually, with a little listening, because it was I didn't go that far. Eventually we found our way back to the entrance. And then we found our way back to the oil, right, Diane? And then I said to the people there, I said, hey, I want you to meet Choo. And they said, oh, did you get to the corporate retreat? I said, no, I forgot. Choo is here, is a new part of the team. Because I said, what's one of the first rules about, keeping your oil smelling good? And they said, keeping it clean. And I said, exactly. I said, Choo here has one of the most unique skills you're ever going to meet. And a lot of people came over because they said, sentient ooze, holy cow, can you go on the ceiling? They were very impressed. But I said, anytime you have standing oil, Choo can take care of the lint and dust. And even that, that stuff, that clumpy, gooey, sticky stuff, right, Choo? And Choo said, no problem. So I helped Choo. Then I went back and I took the shortcut, Diane, and then I came out the other side. And, I mean, that's it for now. I guess I'm going to go back to Sticks and meet up, see if I can find my clients. Because this exit just came out, like this shortcut was just exit to the, how do I explain it, Diane? The intersections of all places. So I don't know where Jiff went from here. And so I said, okay, well, we're going to have to find out some more from RW if his brain records everything like he said. But for now, Diane, I'm going to rest. I hope you're going to rest too. And imagine our favorite sentient ooze. I don't know, Diane, what color if you could pick a sentient ooze to have as a friend, what color would it be? Is it translucent or not? Are you able to put your head on it like a pillow and feel it warm and tickling, but not too much because you're getting ready to rest? Me too. Good night, Diane. Hey, everybody, it's Drew Scooter here. It's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, the sponsor I'm sleeping in every single night, ideally, except when I'm out of town, and then I'm missing it. And that's my Helix mattress. You could take the mattress quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep. See what mattress you get matched with. I sleep in the Helix Dusk Luxe. And when I took the quiz, that's a mattress I got matched with because I sleep on my side, I sleep on my stomach. I don't like to be hot and stuffy at night, so I love the cooling features. And I know from my experience with traveling that no other mattress fits my sleep needs. There's no other place I'd rather be than in my bed in the sweet, sweet arms of my Helix Dusk Luxe. Because even when I've stayed in really, really nice hotels, I haven't felt like the mattress met my needs and how I sleep. That's what I love about Helix. I mean, you take the quiz, it matches how your sleep and feel preferences. You could take it with your partner. Then the mattress comes straight to your door, shipped free of charge. You just bring it inside and you set it up. So I love my Helix. It's a part of my long-term plans, man. It's like a long-term relationship because sleep's important to me and being comfortable in bed's important to me. So you should check out that Helix quiz. Everybody, this is an exclusive offer for Sleep With Me listeners. It's better than what you find on the public website, so pay attention. Go to helixsleep.com/sleep for 27% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/sleep for 27% off site-wide. helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody.